What's up, you guys? Caleb with BAKEROVERLAND here, and we are up at California Customs. This is where Kris Carroll works, and we are going to be doing a dual battery install. This is something I've wanted to do for a long time. Most of my trips are short weekend getaways, and something like the Anchor C1000 or a Jackery 1000, that typically works for me because I'm just using it to power my fridge. And so that's plenty of juice for a quick weekend getaway. But for the longer stuff, like when we did Colorado, that doesn't cut it. And so my plan has been to do a secondary battery install, but I've just been waiting to get to that. And the folks at Redarc were super kind to send me some of those components that I needed to pull that off. And so that is what we're doing right now. But the install's been going on for a little bit. We're gonna get into that, but before we do, I wanna have a conversation with Kris. He knows this stuff way better than me. And so I just wanna kind of go through the components with him, show you what we're dealing with, and then we'll jump into the install. Okay, so we got a whole bunch of stuff here.
Yeah, we do.
Tell us kind of what we're looking at and what this stuff does.
All right, not a problem, man. So first off, we got to have the second battery, man. That's what we're doing. So you have the starter battery under the hood, then we have the auxiliary battery that's gonna be powering all of your accessories on your vehicle. Now, in order to do that and keep everything charged up and keep your starter battery good, that's where this Redarc piece comes in. This right here is the BCDC Alpha 50B. And what this thing right here will do is basically it'll hook to your starter battery, it'll hook to your auxiliary battery, but then you'll also have your solar panel going into this thing, and it will charge your starter battery, keep it topped off, and after it's topped off, it'll top off your auxiliary battery. It'll do it while it's running through your alternator, but it'll also do it with the solar power.
Pretty compact, I like it.
I've got one of those. It's a Renergy, and that thing's like huge. That thing's tiny, man, so that's cool. Awesome.
Yeah, they just came out with this in October, so I'm stoked to use that. All right, and then what else we got here?
All right, so now you got a 2,000 watt pure sine wave inverter right here. And man, you're gonna be able to like watch your 75-inch TV and have your blender.
I'm gonna be using my blow dryer on my beard, getting it all straightened out.
So that thing's definitely big enough to handle anything you throw at it. And then we also got the monitor right here. Now this is one of their smart monitors, which is really cool because it connects Bluetooth.
Cool.
So you don't have a screen or anything like that you have to worry about mounting. You'll basically have an app on your phone. You'll be able to go in there and monitor everything. You get up in the morning, you've ran a lot of things. Well, what's my battery at? You'll be able to connect it, and that'll tell you I got 50% battery, 75% battery. Sweet, and yeah, so very cool system. We just got to get it all wired up. They sent us some wiring, so I think we got everything planned out. We took a few hours. I'm going to be honest. They kind of plan everything out, where we're going to put the battery, where we're going to mount everything. Caleb's already got a lot of accessories on his truck, so there's limited space under the hood. So the charge controller is actually going to go under the passenger seat. The battery, he wants it close and behind his fridge, so we're going to mount it there. And then the inverter here behind the back seat on the passenger side. So a lot of this stuff is already going to be on the passenger side, so it should work out nice.
Sweet.
Yeah, man.
Let's get into it.
Let's get after it, dude. Let's do it.
batteries go in back here. Lots of different places that you could put this. I like this spot because a couple of reasons. Number one, it's in the cab and it's not gonna be exposed to the elements in the back of the truck. Number two though, is my plan is to reconfigure my camera case that holds all my camera gear and all my batteries and make that actually a charging case. And then I'm gonna have that plugged into here when I'm driving. This is probably something that doesn't make sense for a lot of people if they're not content creators, but I burn through batteries a lot, so it makes sense for me. Okay, we are here in my garage. This is a different location, a different day. Thank you so much to Kris and Jacob helping me out. California Customs, awesome letting us use their shop. But we are coming to my garage here in Fayetteville now because we're ready for the next steps. And the battery that I ordered just came in, as well as a few other things that I needed. And so I want to show you guys that, and then we'll get it on the truck. This bad boy is the LiFePO4 230 amp hour, 12.8 volt battery. And it's a tank. It's 50 pounds. I mean, you can see this is like basically 2 of the car batteries in terms of size. And there is so many options out there for batteries of this size that you can buy. This one is so cheap. It's like $500-600 somewhere there compared to other batteries that are $1,000 or more than that. Now, I understand that the cells may be higher quality in some of those, or the components may be better, it may last longer, it may have better warranty, all that kind of stuff. This is an Amazon find. I'll put a link down to in the description below. And for me, I was just like, man, at $500-600 for what this is, if I gotta replace it, I gotta replace it. But I just feel like this is gonna get me what I want without having to spend a ton of money. So this is the battery we went with. A couple other little components here. This is a bunch of 3M double-sided tape. I'm going to use this on my solar panel. That's how I'm gonna install that on the roof. It's by Linsun. I'll show you here in a second. It's one of those real thin ones, like the one I put on my hood. Actually, I'll put a link to the video where we installed that if you wanna see that. But this process is gonna be real similar to that. So, double-sided 3M tape. This was, my buddy Jacob recommended this. And we're gonna have to plug the fridge into the battery somehow. And right now I'm using the traditional kind of cigarette lighter, you know, the 12 volt plug. So what I did was I picked up a couple of USB-C and USB-A female charger ports. I'm gonna put this in the battery box. I'll show you here in a minute, so that I have access to charge stuff right there. That's one of the things I do like about having my Jackery or my Anchor C1000 back there, is it was a good place to charge stuff quickly. So I just thought, I'm gonna go ahead and wire up a couple of these. That way I continue to have that option. But for the fridge in particular, that's why I got this right here. Now, and this is what I was talking about Jacob mentioning. This is one of the, you've seen these plugs, I can't remember what they're called, but I'm gonna put 2 of these on that box, and I can use it for everything from my fridge, diesel heater, Starlink. I'll wire up a cable for this for Starlink, and it'll just live right there. I think this is gonna be a lot cleaner, and I also like how much more weather tight this is, as opposed to, you know, just having like an exposed cable there. So, gonna mount these into the box, mount these on the box, get the battery in, 3M the solar panel, wire everything up, and we should be good to go. Okay, first things first, we gotta get the anchor out of here. Okay, this is the part that's gonna be a little bit tricky because this is not a light battery. So I put the ground closest because those are the short cables that we've got, and then the positive are the longer ones. I am by no stretch of the imagination a 12 volt guy. Not my space, but we're gonna see if we can make something work. Call Jacob Biddle.
Yes, sir.
Hey, bro. I am. I cut that little that plug off the back end of the deal you had me order, and I'm fixing to solder it to the fridge cable. And my question was, the fridge cable, both wires are black. How do I know which one is positive?
Typically, one will have like a rougher edge on one side of it, or a marking of some sort in the coating.
Okay, well that's the one I'll connect it to.
All right.
Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah.
Talk to you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
And that is why you have friends that know how to do this stuff. Although he didn't sound very confident. Not sure how much you guys can see, but I got kind of a big hole dug so that this can sit flush. All right, this is all mounted up. You can see it's flush here. Pop this open, have access to the port. That'll be plugged in like that most of the time, but if I need to undo it for whatever reason. Last step on this for now, I'm gonna put more ports in here and stuff, but I've got to get some larger connectors for the battery terminal. And so for now, this is as many of them as I'm gonna install. This came with some really cheap straps, and so I replaced it with the roller cam straps that I love. It doesn't need much, just something to keep the lid kind of buttoned down a little bit. Okay, I am super stoked on this setup. I'm excited to run it and see kind of how it does. It's gonna be so much more efficient and just something that's less on my radar. Like I'm not gonna worry about it as much when I'm out on longer trips. This is a Linsun Flex 200 watt solar panels. I have 2 of them. They're massive. I don't know that I'm gonna put 400 watts of solar on top of the tent, but I'm gonna do a separate video on this install because this is really kind of a dedicated deal, and this video has been long enough. I may put one of these on my camper and then one of them on, I definitely will put one of them on the tent, but we'll see what space is like. But I'm gonna put this on, and then all I have left to do is wire this into the BCDC on the Redarc BCDC. And then I'm already getting charge on my dual battery now from the alternator on the truck as it drives. And that's working, that's tested, it's great. This will just give me some juice when I'm sitting still. But between the 2 of these, I'm hoping that I can just let my fridge run and not ever think about it again. We'll see. 230 amp hours is a lot, so we'll see how that works. So I've got this. Oh, and I've got a couple more plugs that I'm gonna install on the battery box. I'm gonna wait to do that though. I wanna use this for a couple of weeks and kind of see where I want those. You know, because I thought about putting them on the far side of the battery where I could access it from the other end of the truck. I just don't know where I want those yet. So I decided to hold off on that. Went ahead and did the fridge plug. So that's hooked up, fridge is running, we're good there. And then I'll run it a few weeks and pick the other places. But solar, and we're done. This was a freaking awesome project. Took a little bit longer than I thought, but that's just because I didn't have all the parts in, and you know, when we started that I needed. Redarc sent me a solar panel that didn't work for my use case, which is why I'm going with the Linsun. But all in all, I'm really pumped with how it came out. Looking forward to getting out on the trail and testing it out. So thank you guys for watching this. If you're interested in any of the products that we installed, I'll put links down below. Some of those are affiliate links, so if you are wanting to buy it, I can get you a little bit of discount and I'll get a little kickback. So if you use that link, I'd appreciate it. But yeah, all that stuff's listed down below. And if you have any questions, hit me up. I try to respond to every comment. I'm still a small enough channel that's pretty easy. So if you have a question, just drop a comment down below and I'll be as helpful as I can. Thank you to for watching this. Thank you to our members for supporting the channel. I'll throw y'all's names up over here. Really appreciate y'all. If you want to become a member, hit that join button here on YouTube and you can join the team. We'd love it. We're doing a members only camp out in January. So if you want to jump on board, come hang out with us then. That'd be awesome. And then thank you to our sponsors as always. Really appreciate everyone that helps me make this content. But more importantly, remember, the more you camp, the less deer the aliens abduct. She's a big girl.